Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host Rj Sanwal, and you are listening me. You are watching me from Facebook Live. My mission is to do interviews of the personalities who are inspiring this world, who are inspiring by deeds and work, social activities. Today I have a guest, distinguished guest from Arizona. She is really very fantastic lady at all, and she will be with me within within few minutes. Yes. Finally, we have Deedra Hill about with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host Rj Sanwal, and you are watching us on Facebook Live. I have a distinguished guest today with me. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only distinguished guest from Arizona, uh, Deedra Hill about. Correct pronunciation will be from ma'am. Uh, Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine at all. This is my mission to do interviews of the personalities who are inspiring this world by the social work, by their activities, by their life. Uh, Please share your life story with us, first of all.
Okay. Like the whole life?
You- your brief interview, your brief introduction and life story. Brief introduction, first of all. After that, I will put some questions about your life.
Okay. My name is Deedra Abood, but it is definitely spelled about. I get that, but it's my husband's name, so it's not my fault.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
originally I'm originally from Arkansas. Born and raised there, which it's a state by Texas, and I moved to Arizona in '98. I was a civil rights and social justice advocate in Arizona for 15 years. I'm also an attorney in Arizona, and I am now running for U.S. Senate, which is a congressional seat like a parliament.
Okay, okay. Uh, tell us about your family background, your education, childhood, a lot of things we want to know your culture, where your childhood was.
Okay. In Arkansas, I was the youngest of four girls. So there were four children in my family, and I was one of them. They were all girls, and I was the baby. And my mom and dad were divorced when I was two. So my mom was a single parent raising me, or us. And, we grew up poor, and I played sports. I went to public school. My mom worked two or three jobs. One of them was law enforcement a lot of times when I grew up. Um, then when I went to work in school, I usually worked a couple of jobs at a time as well. I graduated with a bachelor's and then went on to get my law degree and then passed the bar and became an attorney.
Okay, okay, that's very fantastic at all. What was your inspiration when you were growing up, as you are now you are a strong woman? Who was your inspiration?
I think my grandmother affected me a lot. She was, I think, before her time on social things. So she taught me from a very young age about not being prejudiced and, understanding that you shouldn't judge people on things that they don't have any control over, whether that's gender or color or ancestry. Um, really judge people based on their character and how they act. And then my mother was also a very strong influence because she was a strong woman. She wasn't trying to do anything spectacular. She did do some spectacular things, but she was just trying to survive. She was just trying to, raise four kids all by herself and girls at that. And um, and then I think I just always had a very strong attraction and attachment to justice. Over the years, I
Yes,
learned how complicated justice can be. It's not a black and white, but I never lost my passion for justice and striving to get the best definition of justice that you can get in every situation.
All right, all right. But I want to know that this was your goal, your dream, or any incident you have uh, this field now.
You know, I did not grow up saying that I wanted to be a politician or run for office or be in the government. I did grow up knowing that I wanted to be an attorney, and I grew up poor in the U.S. It's difficult to be an attorney, to go to law school when you're poor because it's very expensive and it's you can't usually work and go to law school at the same time. But the politics, it wasn't a dream. It was more of an aptitude. I recognized that I could have the conversations and move our country forward by having those conversations and talking about the things that really mattered and not take things personal and get sidetracked based on my own agenda and my own desires as opposed to um, just trying to do what I think is best and what I've been called to do, which is to bring people together.
Okay. What is your mode of job now? Now, what you are doing there? Your activities of day.
Well, I'm an attorney, but I stopped taking clients in order to run for office, so I'm campaigning full time.
Okay. As you know that I am from Pakistan and we have also election on 25th July. We have all the things in election, and we are really watching us that we want to uh, change this society, this politicians society that as you know, if you have read some stories about our politicians from Pakistan, what is your analysis about Pakistan? If you know about little bit about politics of Pakistan.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the politics of Pakistan to comment on the politics of Pakistan.
What is main purpose of politics in your mind? What do you know that I have to be in politics?
In my mind, people who have a job, who are elected and paid by the people to be government representatives, should their job is to solve problems. And their job is to solve problems for the betterment of the country and district and area that they are elected and paid by the people to serve. They are they should have good character and ethics because they are a representative of those people who have given them their priceless vote, not to mention their tax dollars so that they get a paycheck. So if you're
Okay.
in government, your first priority should not be your own gain. It should not be for you to profit or, be a celebrity. Your job is to look at all the options, all the problems, all the solutions, and do what is best for the area and the people who have honored you with this position.
Okay, okay. As you are a politician and working for your country, uh, tell us in our society, women is really very uh, you can say that they are not allowed to be a politician at all, who are rich and who have a lot of you can say that resources, they can in politics. What is your culture about politics? How women can come in politics? What is your mode of society? You can say that if you are understand.
Did you just tell me that Pakistan women can't be politicians?
Yes, absolutely, but little bit. Who have resources?
Which is new because y'all used to have a female prime minister, quite famous.
Yes, Benazir Bhutto.
Yeah, too bad. No, I was aware of that actually, but yeah, I'd just like to remind people that, a lot of countries, including the United States, seem to be going backwards in some of the progress that we've made. And, Pakistan had a prime minister that was a woman that was elected, um, and, now it's a question whether or not women can have those positions. And Pakistan had a female leading the country, and the United States, which is supposed to be more progressive and free, has never in the history ever had a woman at the top of the leadership in the country. So, just let's put things in perspective. But yeah, in the United States, women can definitely be politicians. But, we sometimes, things in the world are window dressing. So in some ways, we in the United States have a lot of laws and rights and progress. And then in other ways, culturally, there's still a lot of backlash or uh, systemic, but not overt oppression of women. So, people are still trying to keep women in their place as they think, which, women are not accepting, but it's not overt. It's not like someone's telling you literally women should stay in their place so women can't say, no, that's not right. It's more
Yes.
subliminal than that.
Okay, okay, that's great. As you are a housewife, as you have a family, how you manage these all activities in your life? You are working as social activist, as attorney, as politician.
Well, for one, I'm in some unique positions. Um, Number one, my husband actually travels a lot. So I get to get a lot of stuff done and not have to worry about, taking care of him every day because he's traveling for work. Two, we've been doing this a long time, so we are very, very well experienced in how to make sure that we keep a close connection, a great relationship, constantly know that we are each the priority in each other's lives, even though we don't always get to be together all the time. Um, and we've had a lot of experience in that because of the things that both I and he's done. He's worked internationally a lot over the years. I went to law school. I was a civil rights activist. I mean, these things, these are not 8 to 5 Monday through Friday for sure. So we've had a lot of um, we've built a big foundation on that. And also from the very beginning, we've been married 19 years. And from the very beginning of our relationship, we made communication, very clear communication, the number one priority in our relationship. And also,
Yes.
um, we have made making sure that the other one always knows that they are the priority. So right now I'm running for office, and this is a very big task and it takes a lot of my time and a lot of my energy, but my husband knows that I would drop everything in a moment for him because there's nothing more important than him to me, and he would do the same. And just knowing that about each other creates a really solid foundation. Because anything, if he's really busy or I'm really busy and we're not able to return a text or a call right away, neither one of us gets offended or our feelings hurt because we know for sure that we are the priority, and this is temporary. Whatever is keeping the person busy is temporary, and it would never enter our mind that you're not calling me back because you're mad at me and you haven't told me that you're mad at me, because we would never do that.
Great, great. This is, you can say that strong communication you have between you and your husband. Uh,
Yes.
Very good. I am very happy to have you in this conversation. Please tell me about your upcoming goals, what you want to do in your life. You can say that I want this thing.
I want to demonstrate to people that we're in a time when it's become very difficult to have uncomfortable conversations, especially in the United States. We've gotten very used to not having difficult conversations because it's uncomfortable, and just, let's ignore the negativity, let's ignore the ugliness. And in my opinion, we have ignored it into power. It's like a bully situation. If they say if you ignore a bully, he'll go away, and that's so not true. If you if you don't feed a bully, he'll starve, right? So if a bully is bullying you, being talking negative to you, putting you down, um, you don't have to get in a fight with them, but to say, yeah, no, that's not true. Oh, you called me a bad name? Yeah, I know that's not true.
All right. Well, I want to tell about something about my youth. We have a depressing youth. We are struggling for jobs. We are impractical a lot. Tell me about your youth. They are struggling for doing jobs or what they want to do. We are very depressing and we want to do job after 16 year education. About your youth, as you have a lot of study because you are a politician activist.
Well, I mean, normally, in the United States, we're pretty privileged. We have pockets within the United States who struggle a lot, and sometimes it feels like it's kind of going into third world country-ish. Um, I hope that we can prevent that from increasing because right now it kind of looks like it might be increasing, where people don't have the opportunities that they'd like. Finding jobs can be very difficult here, and we're in a kind of a transition period too of whether the youth have the job skills that are necessary to find a job right away, especially out of high school, before they go to college, um, or if they decide not to go to college. And at the same time, we have an economy where a lot of the physical labor jobs are leaving the country and going to other countries where the labor cost is cheaper, which means, if you don't have the right skills in the US, it becomes even harder for you to have a job. Sorry.
Okay, okay, it's okay.
Yeah, but to finish up on the other one, um, I hope that I can empower people, I can motivate people, I can let people see that you can have the difficult conversations. And once we can have those difficult conversations, we can move forward and solve problems as a society, not just, looking for politicians to solve problems, but we as a society, we have some responsibility too.
Okay, all right, all right. Thank you very much. Your answer are very satisfying for me. Tell me about your culture that you have a great dress. I am very impressed from your dress style.
Well,
Yeah.
I did not grow up Muslim. I grew up Christian, and I decided to, well, you basically culturally, through different things, I was taught to dislike Muslims and that they were very, very bad people. And this was, over 20 years ago. And so when I went to the university, I would go up to all the little Middle Eastern students, that were exchange students, and explain to them how bad their religion was, how bad they were, and try to convert them to Christianity. And, as we had more conversations, I started studying more because, I needed to convince them that their religion was wrong. And as I studied it for about 8 years, I liked it and it spoke to me, and I decided I really, wanted I liked the idea of Muslim. I liked the concepts. I felt it was very clear. Your responsibilities as a person was clear. That it's your family, and then your neighbors, and then your neighborhood, and it keeps going out in this ring. But it was very clear where your priorities should be. It was very clear of what your responsibilities as a family member or a society member were, and it was very clear what women's rights were. It was very clear what the wife's responsibility was, what the husband's responsibility was, and everybody had responsibilities. And so I really liked the clarity of it, and it was easy for me to see that there was a difference between culture and religion, because
Yes.
in the America we also have this. There's a difference between culture and religion. So I decided to become Muslim after I moved to Arizona in '98, and studied it. But I already knew before I moved to Arizona, before I became actually, took the Shahada, I had already decided if I became Muslim that I wanted to wear the scarf. Um, I really liked that. But at the same time, I didn't feel, which I think a lot of people convert do, I didn't feel that I was becoming something other than me. I didn't feel like I was changing my identity. I felt like I was evolving in my identity. So I still wore Western clothing. Um, I didn't see any reason why I couldn't wear color. I didn't understand or didn't see why I couldn't be fashionable and still be modest. Because in the end, I'm wearing what I wear for me and God, not for anybody else.
Great, great. Ma'am, you have children? Children.
No, we don't. We've been married 19 years and it never happened. And we always had open communication from the very beginning, how if we wanted to try to do something, how important this was. And, we decided that it wasn't happening. We didn't care why, but obviously God had a different path for us. And now, the different things that we're doing in the world, we're like, yeah, if we had kids, this would be hard. So instead, we've worked on making sure that, we're still in the honeymoon stage after 19 years. And as, someone asked my husband once if it bothered him that he didn't have kids. And he said, no, because God gave me something better than kids, which was a wife that makes me so happy all the time, every single day.
Great, great at all. Please tell me, what do you think that what is life in
What is
your
life?
dictionary?
What is life?
Yes, yes, yes.
Huh. So maybe give me something for that. Like, it's a very broad question, and my mind really looks at stuff. So, what do you mean by what is life? Like, what's our purpose? I mean, why are we
Yes,
here?
yes. Why we are here, purpose of life.
Mm. I think that our purpose is life is to be our best selves, to leave everything better than how we found it, at least leave it no worse than we found it. Um, but I think it's really that we're supposed to make connections, and that humans need that. And I think I don't know why we would need it so badly if it wasn't part of our purpose. It's to connect with other people. It's to connect with the world. It's to make things better. Um, and it's to remember that we're a community and we're all in this together.
As great as you are attorney, what types of clients you have in that territory?
Yeah, as an attorney, in the United States, I know it's a little different than other countries. So as an attorney, you can do anything that you want. Once you've finished law school, you can be a judge, you can be a prosecutor, you can be defense, you can do civil, you can do criminal. I mean, anything you want to do, anything you want to do, you have your license. So for me, I chose to do immigration and estate planning. So immigration is obviously people who want to move to the country and get paperwork. But estate planning is, wills and trusts, what's going to happen to my stuff when I'm gone. So I have all kinds of
Okay, okay.
clients. Mainly, and funny enough, Muslims were never my target clients, and we're only 1% of the population here anyway.
Great, great. Okay. Are you listening to me, man?
Am I what?
Okay, I was thinking that there is a technical issue that you are not listening me. Tell me about that. Our society, as a Pakistani, we have a lot of things that depress us. That we don't have any senior politician. We don't have any. Uh, uh, as you know, that fifth generation is now in the books. We are reading that fifth generation war. What is your comments about fifth generation war? We think that we are much uh, uh, far from the upcoming culture of this world, of this universe. That as a Pakistani, we have a little bit technology. We don't have a lot of technology to meet the needs of this era.
You said fifth generation war?
Yes,
Is that what we're talking
fifth
about?
generation war. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, can't say that I'm very familiar with this, because Pakistan's not I don't have a degree in it. um, but, just in general about what's going in the world, what we're seeing is, it's one of the things from Islam that we're taught is that we will never have a leader until we're ready. And sometimes we look around and see what we do to each other, just on the day-to-day level, like our neighbors or the grocery store. I mean, not even talking powerful people. You look around and see what we're doing to each other, and it makes me remember that we're not ready, um, and that we have to start improving ourselves and doing better ourselves with each other, before the leaders that we need, that are required, that are going to have the ethics and the character that we need, or maybe even we're going to be those leaders. That's not going to happen until more of us fix ourselves so that we can be deserving and ready for people who could actually make a change. And for me, it just, every time I see how we treat each other, it just reminds me that we're not ready.
Great.
And I want to be ready,
Last
so I want to
message.
work on it.
In our society, women don't know about their education, their skills. They are just a housewife, and sometime you can say that few people are uh, enjoying their life as a woman. What is your last message about a woman's life in this universe?
One of the things that we hear in the United States, in the West, is how oppressed Muslim women are. And that's very upsetting because that's not true in all over the world. But there are cultures in which women are oppressed, and it's not just Muslims, but we're just going to talk about Muslims. And I always remind people, because when you tell them that Islam, really points out women's rights and women's liberation, and people say, yeah, but I don't see it in the world, so, that can't be true. And they don't understand that it's not that Islam is wrong or even that anybody's saying it's wrong. It's that so many people don't even know Islam. So even if it's right, if you don't know the right answer, it doesn't matter. So, you know, women can, there's, being a housewife is perfectly respectable and honorable. And being a working woman is perfectly respectable and honorable. You have to pick out your priorities in life, and my priority is always my husband, no matter how busy I am. And his priority
Yes.
is always me. It's a two-way street. But I understand my rights. He understands my rights. We came from two different cultures, and we said together, we said, we're going to take the best things from your culture, and we're going to take the best things from my culture, and we're going to get rid of all of the other stuff that's not benefiting us, and we'll use the Quran to answer any questions that we're not sure of. But we'll always honor and respect each other and always want the best for each other and always be willing to support each other, because that's what a relationship is. And my husband has zero competition with me, and I have zero competition with him. And that's so
Correct.
important. So no matter how successful I am, no matter how successful he is, neither one of us feel that we don't deserve it or that it somehow takes away something from us. So just
Um,
be yourself,
Yes.
know yourself, have open communication, and never, ever, ever let anybody tell you that you're not worthy, period.
Right, right, great. Pam Squares raised a question. What are your views on women as leaders, women in positions of power? Pam Squares, she is
Absolutely,
watching
women
us.
can. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, women can and should, if they have the aptitude, they have the desire, they can and should be leaders. Historically, we've had leaders. In Islam, we've had leaders.
Yes,
Several countries have had very successful female leaders. Leadership should not be a gender issue, it should be an aptitude issue. And Islam doesn't
yes.
say otherwise. It actually encourages women to take responsibility and take leadership roles. It all comes down to your priorities.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much for being the part of this conversation. Thank you very much. You have a great communication skill. My questions were not up to the mark, but you have a great grip on your working and your words. Thank you very much for giving you time me and being the part of this conversation. Thank you very much uh,
Okay.
being with me.
Thank
Thank you very much. Allah
thank you.
Hafiz.
All right.